Second place Chelsea, 9 points on third place Liverpool, and a mammoth 15 points down to fourth place Arsenal now. So a wonderful end to a wonderful year as City clock up 27 away wins in 2021. Joining me still in the studio are Jolien Lescott and Sean Gota. Gents, it perhaps was not the sort of game that many were expecting, but you almost preempted before, Jolien. You thought 2 goals we'd win by, but it was tight. It was tight in the end, but it was a great victory. Really important 3 points for us.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think that's the key message, is that it's important 3 points. It wasn't about a performance, it was about results tonight, and we can't get carried away and just want perfect performances and glamorous results every week. It's now coming to the business side of the season. It's kind of like, just get the job done, and if it means 1-0 and not really look like losing or conceding a goal in the second half especially, then so be it. But there will be games when we get to enjoy it more, but again, it was just a case of getting the job done tonight.
And Sean, it started off the second half. Now, we've got to admit, we were running down to watch the second half as it began, and Phil Foden had a chance that we've not seen, but we have heard about. So 45 seconds into the second half, Foden had a chance that was saved.
Yes.
If we'd have scored at that point, it could have been a completely different second half.
Yes, well, this is what we come to know with Foden. He gets himself into the box, into areas. I mean, this cross by De Bruyne, we always anticipate and expect quality, and this is what he's done. He's delivered another quality ball, and Foden's got on the end of it. And, you know, he's probably wanting to get more purchase on it. If he gets a bit more on it, it doesn't sort of glance wide or the far post, but in fact, it actually gets on target. So that obviously encouraged him to keep getting in the box, but this is what De Bruyne does as well. But I think when I look at, you know, the whole game in total, for me, Julian may not sort of agree, but I think it was almost like a masterclass of managing a game. And the reason I say that is because Brentford, their fans, we heard them towards the end. And we heard, you know, Alistair and Michael Brown talk about, you could hear the crowd. And that was only for about 6 or 7 minutes. And the reason we didn't hear him for large portions of the game is because how we managed it. We almost felt, well, is there a lot to talk about in this game? And it was because of how City played and how City managed it and how they just sort of shifted the ball. And there wasn't real with this great deal of pace and zip about our game as we saw when we played Leicester. But again, I think it was controlled. I think it was purposely controlled to keep, you know, their fans quiet. And I think there was a period that Alistair had said, you know, they're saying boring City. And this is, for me, I felt this would have been the game plan. And I think it was brilliant how we managed it without creating tons of chances, but also stopping them from getting loads of chances and loads of set pieces.
Yeah, because they didn't have a lot of clear chances, but it did feel quite tight at times, but not dangerous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's always going to be tight when there's one goal in it. You always feel you can obviously create an opportunity and get something out of the game, but that wasn't the case. It never looked like, as you said, danger period in the second half. It wasn't under threat. I don't know if Edison made a save in the second half, and their fans singing boring City. Like, our job isn't to entertain the opposition fans.
We've been entertaining them all season.
You know what I mean? It's to get the job done, and the fact of the objective is to entertain our fans and get a result, and when we're winning, they're entertained. And they obviously long trip down to the faithful that have gone down to London this evening, and they've all coming back with a smile on their face due to the result.
Yeah, I'm sure our fans are very, very happy. We won't be concerned with them calling us boring, I don't think. There was a couple of chances though in the second half for us. So Phil had a goal in the 50th minute, which was offside, which we saw, and we all sort of immediately called offside. But then Aymeric Laporte in the 87th minute, Jolien, that was much tighter. I mean, they were celebrating, we were celebrating. Yeah. We fully thought it was in. But again, we looked back and...
Yeah, initial first thoughts was that it was a goal, and then when you see it on the replay, like the second replay, you kind of see that his shoulder and his armpit, whatever it may be, just ahead of play. And yeah, the fact that he didn't use it to score doesn't come into play, to be honest. Like, the right decision was on both occasions, one Phil Foden's and also Aymeric Laporte. So again, not as glamorous as we've seen, but happy enough.
And Kevin De Bruyne had a shot Sean, in midway through the second half as well. What did you make of his performance tonight?
Well, yeah, I think again it wasn't this sort of performance where we're looking at. You know, when you think about all the players, you think, well, the other night we saw some outstanding performances, and today you think, yeah, we played good, but you're thinking, well, who was outstanding? And I think it was the way. I think one, to repeat it in such a short space of time is difficult. But De Bruyne, again, is consistent in what he does. You know when he gets the ball in that pocket, that 10 area, facing up to either slide balls through, or whether he's out wide, his delivery of crosses, or whether he's making those trademark runs towards the byline and flashing it across the 6-yard box. This is what De Bruyne does. And again, you struggle to sort of say, He goes 3-4 games and doesn't play well. Again, for me, another decent performance by him, finding his rhythm, finding his passing range, and this is what we come to know of Kevin De Bruyne, is quality.
So the 3 points really, really important as always, but especially with Chelsea dropping points. So they had a draw against Brighton this evening, which means we've played the same number of games as Chelsea, 20 games. We're on 50 points. They are now on 42. So 8 points clear there of Chelsea. Liverpool have a game in hand because their game was called off the other day, but 9-point gap on Liverpool now, Jolien. That is a nice way to start 2022.
Oh, especially with them teams playing each other on the weekend. We were just speaking off air, and we all kind of have the same thought of, we hope Chelsea win that game, just for the fact that we know Liverpool can put a run of games together where they win 7 in a row. Chelsea haven't done that to kind of propel themselves to real contenders. If the gap is still 8 points going into the 15th of January, that is a must win for them. And then it's a different style, different approach they have to take, knowing they have to come here and have to win the game, not a draw. They have to win to stay in the rights for the title, in my opinion. But again, it's a great place to be in. And to credit to Pep and the players, I'm not surprised that our form is what it is. Yes, other teams can drop points, but the momentum that we have is not a surprise to me.
Yeah, 10 Premier League wins in a row, I think that is now. And Sean, we play before Liverpool and Chelsea at the weekend. Well, we play on the 12:30 on New Year's Day. Cannot wait. So obviously, if that is going to be a really difficult game against Arsenal. But if the positives, if we win, it would be 12 points on Liverpool, 11 on Chelsea before they play each other. Like, that's going to send an insane amount of pressure to them.
It would, and their players would know it. They'll be well aware of it. They'll be aware of it from tonight. So whether they want to, they'd blank out whatever the result is to come in days to come, they'll be well aware of it and thinking, we have to win. And that puts a little bit more attention. Perhaps players control balls instead of it being perfect and being just a foot in front of them. It's 3 feet, and then the players winning tackles. So some things can become a little untidier because that nervous of dropping more points. So we'll see, but same thing will be the same at City. City will just focus on our game, winning our games, and keep playing. I think Pep thing will be, Can we go? I think our record is 18 wins or something like that. I think that will be Pep's message to the players. Listen, we're halfway through to what we can achieve, or can we beat the 18 if it was 18 consecutive wins? Not thinking about, if a team wins and narrows the margin. His focus will be solely on us.
And to get that 11th Premier League win in a row, it's going to be a tough game against Arsenal. They are in form right now, Jolien.
Yeah, of course. Good team, good players. I just feel we have too much for them in current form. And I think if you look at their results against the so-called top teams, they're not great. And so hopefully that's a good omen. They won't have, obviously, Mikel on the bench, which I think nowadays has an impact on the team's performances. I think managers are so animated and driven and the demands are so high for the players. I think that's noticeable when they're not there. So hopefully that's a good thing for us going into that game.
Of course, they beat Norwich 5-0 on Boxing Day, Sean, so they really are full of confidence. They're sitting in fourth. They're sitting in that Champions League spot, which, considering the kind of start to the season they had, I'm sure their fans are ecstatic with right now. What sort of game are you going to be expecting on New Year's Day from them?
Well, funny, because whenever Arsenal typically come, we played them, they've showed the respect. They've went and said, you know what, we're going to put up 2 defensive blocks and play a counter-attack game. The fact that they're on good form, be interesting to see whether they decide to do differently and say, well, we're going to go toe-to-toe. But I think Arteta, any times he's come, he's not had the best of luck against us. So whether he decides to change that and go, you know what, let's go toe-to-toe, because I've gone there trying to play a counter-attack game, and, we've been played off the park. might as well go toe-to-toe. Who knows? But I'm sure all those things will be in his mind as options.
And I'm fuming with Emile Smith-Rowe, me, Jolie, and I don't know about you, but I had him in my team, and then he stopped playing. I took him out, and he scored 3 times as a sub.
I'm the same again, so he's not going back in for the weekend. Definitely not. I don't want him back in there. I don't want him to do any points.
But they have got loads of great young English talent in that team.
Yeah, there's loads of talent in there, loads of exciting players that you want to watch, and whether you, obviously, Arsenal fans obviously take to their team, but I always had kind of an admiration for Arsenal, second team kind of thing, and get that kind of feeling back again with the young English players. You want them to do well and obviously showcase the talents, and with the likes of Saka and Smith-Rowe. Hopefully they do that later on in the season, not the weekend.
Later on, not on the first. I'll be with you on New Year's Day, 12:30 kickoff for Arsenal. I'll be here in the studio. No going out for me on New Year's Eve, but it's fine. We're top of the league. Right, let's have a look at Cryptic City. That's how I'm selling it to myself. Cryptic City, right, here you go. Thank you for sending in all of your answers. #Man City. We really appreciate them. Right, Jolien, you got this instantly. Could you please explain to everybody what the Cryptic City answer is today?
Yes, so as we said, it's Samuel L. Jackson, so we've gone for Sam at the first part. Then we said the background of the pictures and not the individual, which is mirrors. So Sam Mirrors, Mirrors. Yes,
Daryl did this.
And then Naz album, which is an easy part of the surname, and then Riri Nazri. So Samir Nasri. And just for the hell of it, here he is scoring against Manchester United. Yes! Samir Nasri. Congratulations to Pamela, to JG, to Sharon McGuinness, to DLT, to CJ, to Alan, to Ian, to David, to Karen, to Elaine, to Michael, to Godzilla. Crikey, even Godzilla's taking part. To Paul and to Stanley. All of you got Samir Nasri right. Now, if you were watching at half-time, you might have seen a little bit of controversy that we had. The lovely Elaine Laura used our WhatsApp number to get in touch to ask us if we could confirm what the Cryptic City was from Boxing Day because her stream froze. I was all ready to tell her, and then Jolien Lescott stepped in and said no. So, Jolien, she's been back in touch. Oh, okay.
Elaine has said, "Oh, come on, Jolien." I'm going to put on a sorry voice. Yes, come on, Jolien. Yeah. It's Christmas. That would be such a good present to give.
Oh, okay. So let's put it like that.
Give her a cryptic. Z for zip.
Are you going to tell Elaine who it was on Boxing Day?
Zinchenko.
It was Zinchenko. Here you go, just to refresh your memory, Elaine, and to anyone else. This was the Cryptic City. Ollie X, the Grinch, which sounds like Zinch. That was shocking. Ol X Zinch. And that's Techno. Ol X Zin Techno.
I'm so glad I wasn't here for that one.
You'd been fuming.
Oh, what?
Sean, you had no hope on that, mate.
None of them clues represent that name. None of them. Was that Daryl again?
Daryl says it wasn't him.
Oh, who was it?
And it wasn't me. I've done a few.
Paula?
I don't know.
Paula. I bet it was Paula.
Yeah. Never worked.
But Elaine, there you go. Alexander Zinchenko, thank you for contacting us, and thank you to you all again for for taking part. Now, very quickly, just to end the year before we go, we just wanted to have a look back. We've been doing the show Best of 2021. We looked at our best goals and our best saves. We didn't have time to do our best assists, but we are now going to have a look at the best, funniest moments from this show. So, some of these you guys might be in, some of them you might have seen. Right, this is my favourite. Pay attention.
They're all winners, and I don't think you can be a winner if you're not going 100%. And the difference between, say, myself, Donny, and them is like, we went 100%, but we weren't necessarily winners because those guys are insanely talented. Whereas Richard, Don, and I, we just took balls to the face.
You did so much. I'm not having
balls to the face.
I'm not having.
Balls to the face.
I'm not having. Whatever you do in your own time is your time, Nathan. Okay, so. So there's some ammo for you for your five-a-side team that Nadam's in with you.
No, he's not in my team if he's taking balls to the face. He's not in my team.
Right, the next one.
Brilliant. He had such a tough time with injuries, and he ended up, I think he got a dead man's cartilage put into him.
Absolutely. I think there could be a documentary in that, couldn't there? Nicky Weaver's Dead Man's Cartilage.
Sounds like an Emma film.
You got that the City Plus team now, like that. Go right, let's write this type of script.
Yeah, they were straight on that one, Jolien.
Yes.
You got into one. Although it was Richard Dunn.
Yeah, Donny, dropped a little one-liner there for you, to be fair.
Right, here you go, Sean. It's your moment.
Oh.
I have this running joke with the boys in the studio as well. I've got so many favourite players.
Sean Gota, he's probably my favourite player. Not many players. It's everybody's Sean Gota's favourite player.
Everybody. You love everyone, Sean.
I do.
Right. That was that cold game.
Glad I missed that one.
Sean, how did they get you down by the pitch on that game?
Well, I was close to my favourite players.
Right. Jack Grealish, ladies, here's one for you.
You know what I mean? But so to say now, every team in Europe, they're arguably their biggest rivals in every competition. So that is just a huge honour. And Pep and the owners have a massive part to play in that.
The other word on Pep, and we saw, I mean, the cameraman loved Jack Grealish's calves there, by the way. I don't know if anyone saw that close up, and literally the slowest pan up some calves I've ever seen.
From all the female population, I would just like to say thank you to the cameraman who slowly panned up there. Right, and the next
camera
one,
woman.
the camera woman, yes. Yeah. And to everybody, from the whole men, women, everybody loved Jack Grealish. Right, the next one.
Joining me this week for Matchday Live, it's a double dose of Sean in the form of Sean Wright-Phillips and Sean Gota. That's like, it just went, who's your favourite Sean? I was like, it's like asking a parent, who's your favourite son? I'm going to say that now.
Well, that's an easy question. Hey, producer, you heard me? Something like that.
See how he's stroking my jumper?
Yeah.
He wants one.
You get a reputation, Sean.
Yeah. He loves the club gear. He loves the club gear. He's Sean Gota. He loves the club gear.
Yes, he does. He loves the club gear. Yeah. And the last one.
Bring up the clip. See what you think of this, Sean, here now. This is, of course, I'm talking about they're playing a higher and lower game of pace players. Okay, so using FIFA ratings. Have a little look here.
Sean Wright-Phillips, another fast one.
So, Sterling was at 91. Were you faster or slower on FIFA, Sean?
So, slightly lower.
Faster than all of them there.
Vassell said lower.
I'll say lower.
Oh, it's higher!
The hater. That is haterade.
No, I wouldn't.
They're not happy with it. I can't believe it, especially
so
Maiden.
Basically what I'm seeing
20 yards, I beat all of them.
All of them. Guys, I'd have said that.
30 yards, and I'm beating all of them.
There was a little challenge there for a race, though. So, I mean, Vassell and...
Not now.
No, would you now, though? I still think you'd have him now.
No.
10 yards. 10 yards.
I'm honest. Not now. I won't be him now. And Naden's only just retired, so that don't count.
That's true. It's a bit cheeky.
Naden's a machine as well, by the way. He's like the Terminator.
Don't. He's a beast. But I didn't let him go. He's the Terminator.
Naden's the Terminator. You're having that.
Literally lightning. He's still lightning. Like real lightning.
He was fuming, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it. He was fuming that Sean Wright-Phillips got faster than him.
Like that. The FIFA's like the way they do the defenders on FIFA hurts me, man. It hurts my feelings. It's like no defenders are fast by a Kyle Walker.
That's the only defender. Kyle Walker.
Yeah, man. That hurts my feelings. It's like all the only strikers are fast. Just it upsets me. That.
Were you upset by your rating? Is that what this was?
I was faster than DS, so I was all right.
Really? Gents, thank you so much, Sean and Jolien. It's always a pleasure to have you both here. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you to you all at home for joining us on Matchday Live this evening. You can get a full replay of tonight's game on City Plus from midnight. I'll be back here on New Year's Day about 11:30 for the first game of 2022, of which I hope is going to be the best year that we all have ever had at Manchester City. Let's hope we start it off the right way. Now, before then, get yourself onto City Plus tomorrow, because we are launching our newest documentary. Cannot wait to watch this one. Of course, Ireland is Superman, and we'll see you all on New Year's Day.
Oh my God.
Oh, what a goal from Stephen Ireland.
That just sums him up really as a person. Funny guy. What was I thinking?
It's a nice moment for Stephen Ireland. It's his Premiership debut.
I forgot that he even had hair. He had hair then.
Ireland. Oh, that's a great goal.
Incredible player. Great human being. Away from the field, he was just a bundle of joy, always smiling. He had that crazy side to him.
Assim, é cara engraçado.
It's Ireland again. Steve Ireland.
There's a real buzz around the place. Mark Hughes coming in, some new players coming in, the new owners coming in. There's a real buzz.
It's Ireland. That is a terrific goal.
That year he was far and away my sort of hero because he was just so good.
That year, without Stephen Ireland, would not have been anywhere near as successful as we were.
Stephen Ireland is their player of the year.
We took him to our house because we thought he had the lot. He was brilliant.
Johnny would score his Ireland.
It's hard watching those things as you get emotional about it, you know what I mean? It's like how fast time goes.
This fella, Stephen Ireland's been their most consistent performer.
You'd have to say that season, he was Superman.